Dudes, I found something so good. It's just watch. I promise. It's amazing.
From demons and fairies to UFOs and Bigfoot, tales of the unexplained have been a part of humanity's story since the beginning.
And you just know it's going to be good if a video starts like that and I am covering it. Fairies, demons, Bigfoot and UFOs. You know, sometimes there's just so much beauty in the world, man.
Ancient alien theorists will look at the Bible and chalk up every bizarre event to aliens.
Well, that's the classic thing about your average conspiracy theory slinging wackadoodle of any sort. No matter what their thing is, they are always gonna find proof of what they believe in any and everything that they can. Even if that thing says absolutely nothing about their thing unless you read between the lines, aka make stuff up.
While a religious scholar may look at contemporary alien encounters as manifestations of demons.
Hey man, that is not fair to them. You know, I often get accused of being unfair to the religious, but I will defend them right here. I mean, maybe they would think that if they were a total moron, but most religious scholars aren't total morons. They're more like 90% moron. That was a joke, calm down. It's 80%.
Bigfoot and other cryptids have a strange habit of showing up near UFO sightings.
See, it's so good. Yeah, mate, nutters who think they have seen Bigfoot heavily overlap with nutters who think that they have seen Spacey Boys. Obviously. But the thing is, when a person tells me a completely baffling story, I'm not suddenly surprised when they tell me even more crazy shit. And I certainly don't go on to think that the preponderance of batshit tales is proof of anything other than this guy just needs to be as far away from me as possible. But then again, that is true for all humans.
And those who encounter either of these phenomena often discover newfound psychic abilities.
You see that? That is where I knew I had come across the greatest video of all time on the internet. I mean, what do you even say to that? Of course, it feeds into my previous point of people who believe shit for which there is no evidence shall continue to do so, but so much more. Because apparently, seeing things that didn't happen also gives you superpowers. Yeah, sure, why not?
Could there be a common cause that explains all paranormal events?
Yeah, actually there is. It's a very simple phenomenon and can affect any and all humans. It's called the Big Stupid. And no matter how smart, or whatever the opposite of smart is, you are, you can be affected by it. The Big Stupid makes all sorts of people from all walks of life believe all sorts of unprovable shit. And we are here today to fight it. Because if you aren't careful, anyone could get the Big Stupid. Even you. Steve. A unified theory of the paranormal. Gotta stick in that pseudo attempt to make it look like legitimate sciencing, otherwise it just wouldn't be proper Wudo science now, would it? Also, unless I come up with a better title in the meantime, I am calling this video The Unified Theory of Stupid or something like that, because I'm an asshole.
One of the most famous sustained paranormal experiences is the Mothman incident of 1966.
Okay, sure, just jump right into one that I barely know anything about. And I don't know what you mean by sustained, but clearly not famous. I mean, I only heard of it because of the one in friggin' Fallout 76. And if Fallout 76 is what makes me aware of something, I'm not exactly gonna have the best of relationships with that idea. Why couldn't you just have made Fallout 4 with co-op for f***'s sake, Bethesda? Hopefully your new master Phil will stop you making dumbass decisions.
For 13 months, Point Pleasant, West Virginia was plagued with sightings of a bizarre winged humanoid, accompanied by mysterious lights in the sky, animal mutilations, and other accounts of paranormal activity.
So, we have two possible explanations for this. Either there were in fact spoopy ghost boys and moth fellas roaming the woods and skies above the area, doing all sorts of spoopy tasks, and yet only leaving people's hazy recollections as evidence of their passing. Or People got whipped up by a couple of stories of whatever, and anything that was even vaguely inexplicable was attributed to some grander happening. Because as more people noticed, and more importantly, paid attention to weird shit, the more weird shit they would notice and pay attention to. Basically feeding into itself until everyone is piss scared of their own shadow, even though at any other time they would have just dismissed all this crap as their imaginations, which it definitely was not because reasons.
Journalist John Keel famously documented this prolonged period of unusual events in his book, The Mothman Prophecies.
Journalist is a strong word there, buddy. As I understand, he was more of a purveyor of multiple woo theories, including a particular favourite that I'm amazed I haven't really covered. The old hidden ultra-advanced Earth-based civilization shtick, where it's not aliens, but actually somehow completely undetectable race of advanced something or others, who are sneaking around Earth doing stuff for apparently no reason. Yeah, makes sense to me.
Which was later made into a film of the same name.
Making it a fact, because that's how facts work. I mean, my favourite documentaries, Who Framed Roger Rabbit and Space Jam, really do highlight just how correct this idea is. I don't know where I was going with that, but now I just kind of want to watch Space Jam again. And not in a memey ironic way. That film was legit when I was a kid. I am sure it'll totally hold up.
These simultaneous events were not new to Keel. He often wrote of window areas, specific locations on our planet where paranormal events were far more likely and even expected to occur.
It's like, right, if you put up a sign that says, "Welcome to Flurgurg, home of the super spoopy thing that happened that one time that if you think about it was probably nothing, but don't do that, buy a t-shirt instead," people visiting for that reason will instantly attribute anything they see to this place's spoopy nature. I know it's the same point again, but I think it's a pretty goddamn solid one that bears repeating. Also, I love this image because it makes me imagine Bigfoot riding a ghost Loch Ness monster into space and fighting Martians.
For experiencers and believers of the paranormal, the greatest frustration often lies in the lack of abundant physical evidence.
Oh, that's not fair. There's not a lack of abundant evidence. There's no evidence because these events didn't happen or weren't what people think they are. And anything like crop circles has always been shown to be a hoax. And that doesn't count as evidence either, obviously. So don't worry about it, buddy.
A few landing marks here, a bit of fur there, and even the occasional photograph don't seem to be enough to convince the skeptics.
Well, aside from the fact that I am sure any analysis of those things have come up with, oh shit, yeah, this is literally a whole load of nothing, even if they were inconclusive somehow. Like, yeah, you need way more evidence of things happening than not happening for it to become, in any way, shape or form, convincing. Especially all of this third-party crap. Sightings and blurry photos and some fur, because of course, there's no way you would ever find fur in the woods. What are you, nuts? Fur is found with space, along with the Loch Ness Monster's ghost.
After decades of researching such cases, Keel developed an elegant hypothesis which explains the troublesome disparity between excessive testimony and scarce physical evidence.
Do I have to say it? I think we all know what I think the reason is, but just in case you haven't actually been listening to the words I say and are instead entranced by my sensual, dulcet tones, you sexy bitch, then yeah, no, this is explained very easily. These things didn't happen. The people who think they did are wrong, either because they are delusional or mistaken. Both reasons with multitude more reasons for why that might be. Now, let's see what his completely sensible rationale for this is. I hope it's good. And by good, I mean ridiculously stupid.
His book, The Eighth Tower, written at the same time as the Mothman Prophecies, proposes a sort of unified theory to explain all paranormal events. These entities are able to shift up and down the electromagnetic spectrum, appearing and disappearing as they please.
Oh wow. It's so much worse than I expected. I mean, I was thinking maybe it'd be some Illuminati shit, or maybe like I don't know, I suppose this is magic, but it's magic pretending to sound scientific, and that just really gets my old jimmies rustling. It's like, I can't prove this thing, so I'm going to come up with this even more absurd thing that I also cannot prove. Hell, it's even less provable, if that's even a word, and completely fails to explain how their shitty non-evidence even exists. Or how, if it can explain that, why there isn't way more of it, because it should be freaking everywhere, considering the number of these supposed sightings. But yeah, this is the part of the woo that does kinda get on my tits. When you can't explain something, just make something up that you can't explain either. Shit goes on forever.
Keel called this the super spectrum, and he referred to the beings inhabiting it as ultra-terrestrials.
Ultra-terrestrials? Fuck off. What does that even mean? Extraterrestrials is one thing, because it just means outside Earth in Latin or some shit, but ultra-terrestrials would be like, they are really, really, really of Earth, and like the one we inhabit, not this made-up BS. And what about actual aliens? They don't get to exist in your thing. That's not fair. What did they ever do to you? Oh, right, the probing thing.
This could explain the variety of electromagnetic effects often associated with paranormal events.
No, it doesn't. Some electromagnetic thing going on would be the supposed electromagnetic event. You see some aurora borealis, or your car somehow gets bought because some random electrical short, or hell, that time a Super Mario 64 speedrunner ended up accidentally doing an insane time skip because of fucking cosmic rays. Yes, that happened, look it up. All these things to a casual observer could absolutely be attributed to yet more spooky boys. But when analysed will quite obviously be a thing that happened that has nothing to do with the paranormal. Are these common occurrences? Hell no! But that doesn't make them fucking magic! And it doesn't mean magic caused them, or the thing that caused them was the thing that caused them, and now we are just falling down a causeception hole, so I'ma move on before I disappear into a puff of redundancy.
Cars stall, widespread power outages occur, radios and telephones go crazy, and battery-operated devices refuse to work.
Especially the power outages one. Yeah, people are gonna have unusual experiences. I remember a few years back, there was a big blackout locally, and it was also pissing it down with rain. Absolutely torrential. So the outside was pitch black and weirdly shiny looking. One of the most unusual combinations of circumstances I've personally seen, resulting in an eerie and unfamiliar world. I was actually working in a pub at the time. It was closing, and an elderly gentleman lived just round the corner from my home. So I walked him to his, in this abstract landscape, and I could totally see someone walking alone through that might have multiple unexplained things happen. Because everything's different and you can barely see. But again, it doesn't change the fact that you would have been seeing those things based on having a distorted view of the world. Not because that's how it actually is. And that kind of situation was basically universal. So I am sure that a number of people will have had weird things happen to them on that night. But it doesn't mean anything.
Clocks and watches have also been known to stop in the presence of UFOs, monsters, and ghosts.
Here's a hypothesis that's much, much more likely. You regularly think that you see ghosts. You're wrong, but you do. And hey, look, one of those times that you think that happened, your watch also happened to stop. Well, I guess that proves it. Ghosts am the real, and my confirmation bias is giving me one hell of a dopamine spike. Ah, lovely.
Keel believes these beings are native to the Earth, which explains their manifestation in different forms throughout the ages.
It really doesn't. Name anything else that dramatically changes form, size, abilities, and to apparently wildly different creatures. Oh, that's right, you can't, because that doesn't happen. And no, butterflies don't count unless you have seen one change from a caterpillar to a goddamn school bus.
But that they inhabit physical dimensions beyond normal human perception.
And isn't that just so goddamn convenient? You know, I actually have like a mansion and a bajillion dollars and a really nice car and all those things that you've ever wanted, and a dad that could beat up your dad, and a mum who actually loves me and is proud of me and all the things I do. But they are in another dimension, so you can't see them. Ever.
This theory fits with scientific understandings of how our brains perceive the world around us.
I'm gonna have to stop you right there, pal. In which one of these alternative realities is that freaking true? 'Cause it sure as shit ain't this one. I just know you are gonna go, "'Cause there am colours humans don't do the seeing of." But it's a hell of a leap to go from that to, therefore, dragons live in the colours we can't see. We have equipment that can see them, dipshit, and weirdly, they haven't turned up yet.
It is well known that our senses are only equipped to pick up a very small slice of physical activity. Dogs, cats, and other animals are able to hear audio frequencies we cannot. Is it simply coincidence that they seem to have a sixth sense for the paranormal?
Huff and arg. And yes, I said those noises because I am that annoyed. I thought this was going to be fun, but it turned into a slightly less aggravating version of spirit science. And you know how I feel about spirit science. I get so irritated with it, I have to make a series just to cope. But this... Okay, cats and dogs. Tell me the last time a cat or a dog told you they could see a ghost. And no, I don't mean that they got all weird in the corner and you got a spooky feeling and decided it must be ghosts. I mean, told you. Oh, that's right. They never have because A, ghosts don't reel, and B, you don't speak dog. You speak ridiculous woospiracies. A language so stupid that animals are like, nah, humans aren't actually saying words when they make those face noises. It's all just intelligent sounding gibberish. Which basically sums up this entire video.
Wait, before you go, I have something super important to tell you. It's life or death. It will change everything forever. Nope, wait, it's gone. Oh well, probably wasn't important. But while I have you, don't forget to comment, subscribe and notify. And if you want more of my smexy voice, check out Mrs. Six's channel Spoonstaff Stories, where I narrate and voice all the videos, and she does the work. And if you want to support the channel, check out the merch store for cool t-shirts, or check out Patreon, memberships and PayPal to support directly. Finally, follow me on the medias of social to get completely pointless guff and to keep up on the latest releases. Oh, I just remembered what I was going to tell you. Whatever you do, don't touch the